Hello and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we've got a 2004 Mercedes, it's an E220 CDI, and the customer complaint on this is an intermittent ABS fault. What it does, it puts the traction light on and the ABS light on occasionally, not very often, and sometimes he said it puts the gearbox into limp mode, which could be linked. I've had a look at it a couple of times before and not found any faults, but he said it's getting slightly more regular now. So we're gonna give it another go, give it another code read, get some more live data, and possibly this time we're gonna go through, clean the sensors and see what's going on. So let's crack on. Right, I don't think I've ever had a car with so many modules in it. This one's got 31 modules, so I'll give you a quick look at all of those, and you can stop and pause if you want to look at any one of them in particular. But, so the ones we're interested in are the ABS ones mainly, but we've got one fault in the common rail diesel, we've got one fault in the ESP stability program, one in the airbag, one in the ESM electronic selector module, one in the system diagnosis CAN, one in the driver's side SAM driver acquisition and actuation module, one in the assist plus active service system, and one in the AGW audio gateway, most network management diagnosis gateway, radio tuner, etc., and one in the onboard electrical system voltage supply. I don't know what you can see because there's a lot of glare on this, but anyway, we go into the ESP stability program. Okay, read codes, right rear speed sensor, that's the same fault we had before, so that's where we want to be concentrating our investigations. Let's see what we've got in there. Common rail diesel, read codes, right, we have a load of stored codes in the diesel, but the only current one we've got is this one, which is the 233-4 vehicle speed cruise control wheel speed implausible, so that again will go with the ABS sensor. Let's see what we've got in the next one. Right, in the airbag module we've got a component B48 front passenger seat occupied and child seat recognition is defective. You can see that there. But we won't worry about that for the time being. Right, we have another right rear speed signal fault code in the ECM electronic control. In the ECM, the electronic selector module. Let's go for system CAN. Let's see what we got in there. You can see a lot in there. It's a really bright day today. Read codes. Synchronization of the DTC memory cannot be ensured, so we won't worry about that. Oh, excuse me. Right, let's go into the driver's side SAM driver signal acquisition and actuation module. Oh dear. Right, let's see what we got in here. 40 heat exchanger. It's 40 all leaders open circuit, so we won't worry about that. It's stored on current. Right, so all the other modules had odds and ends in that we're not really interested in. All we're interested in is the ABS for the moment. So we're going to grab some live data. So we just come into the module again. We're going to go for live data. Power supply, RPM sensor. Let's see what that is. Left front. Right, that's speeds. That could be what we want. ESP sensors. Let's see what that is. Rotational speeds. Steering angle sensor. Yeah, that works okay. Alright, so we're going to RPM. Alright, we'll graph those. And what we do is we go for a spin down the road and see what we get. For a quick blast around the block, up and down the road, and all four wheel sensors seem to be working alright. I mean, these two here, if I put on the left rear and the right rear sensors, and then as you go down the timeline, you'll find they all stay pretty much the same. The only time you get a variance is somewhere like that, and that is when you're turning left or right. One back wheel goes slightly faster than the other back wheel. So in this case, the left rear was going faster than the right rear, so we'll be turning right, I would imagine. But as you can see, then we'll be turning left because the right rear is going a bit faster. But there's no dropouts. They're all pretty identical. So what we'll do, we'll whip the wheel off. We'll have a look at the sensor, see if it needs cleaning, and then we'll have another look. Right, so the usual symptoms or usual problems. We need to get to the ABS sensor, which is on the back of the hub, at the back here, but the customer hasn't got the locking wheel nut key. I can't find it anywhere in the car, he doesn't know where it is, so we have to struggle with the wheel on. So the connector for the ABS wire is, if I can get some light, is under this plastic cover, and it goes round and it goes up. It goes up to there. You see I've disconnected it from that block up there. And it's just a two-pin connector, and that other wire in there is the brake wear indicator for the rear pads. If we go under the car, the sensor is pretty accessible. If you can see it just up there behind the anti-roll bar link. There we go, and it's got an 8mm it's got an 8mm Torx bit on there, so we can get an 8mm spanner on there. And then the wire, it just threads under the arm through a few plastic clips round to where I just showed you. So we'll see this. You can get 8mm spanner on that to undo it, and it's undoing nicely. Hopefully when the bolt's out we'll be able to get the sensor out, so we'll be back in a bit. Right, we're a step nearer, as you can see. I managed to find the locking wheel nut key. It is hidden in one of the centre glove boxes that I couldn't find. So we've got the wheel off. We managed to break the top of the sensor off. Oh, we're down there somewhere. There we are. A bit of focus on that. Come on, focus. Let's go from that side. Can't see. I can't see where you're seeing. Oh, there it is there. The sensor is actually snapped off inside the hole, so at the moment I'm just trying to dig the sensor out, so then we can get ready to get a new one and get that in. But at the moment it's been a bit of a you know what, but we'll keep digging and see what we can do. Okay, so it's the next day. I've managed to dig out the old sensor, and I don't know whether you'll be able to see or not. Let's have a look, see if you can see down there. Don't know whether that'll focus, but if you could see down the hole down in there, you'll see the ABS ring is not attached or is loose on the drive shaft, which is causing our issue. This might give you a better shot. There you go. You see the ABS ring, and there's it's loose on the shaft, or non-existent in places. There we go. Okay, so it's a couple of days later again. The saga continues with this Mercedes. Couldn't get hold of a new drive shaft. The factors wanted a 5 to 7 day turnaround for rebuilding the old drive shaft, which meant the car would be immobile in my garage for 5 days, 7 days, which I couldn't really have as I needed space. So what I did find on eBay was a seller selling genuine Mercedes ABS rings. So I've got one of them. Let me show you. So we've got a genuine, it says genuine, Mercedes ABS magnetic ring, which is a magnetic ring on a metal frame, which is just tapped over the end of the shaft. So what we need to do is get the shaft out, tap the old, what's left of the old one off, clean the shaft up, and tap this on. So there's the part number, if anyone wants the part number, A230 357 0182. So the car's back up on stands again. So now it's just a case of disassembly. So we're going to start by taking the caliper after undoing the hub nut, and then we can take the disc off, take the caliper off, pull the whole lot forward after we've undone some of these arms to get the shaft out. So let's see how we go. Okay, it's a few hours later in the day. We made a bit of progress to free off this hub. We've taken out the nut around there, that's 45mm. We've taken off the caliper, which is just held on by these two slide bolts with a Torx head, not the usual Allen key. And then we've had to take off 1, 2, 3, 4 arms and the anti-roll bar. So they're held on by this bar at the back is held on by a 10mm Allen key and a 17mm nut, which goes through there. Then we've got the anti-roll bar, which is held onto the bottom of the hub by a 16mm bolt head and a 16mm nut. That just goes through there. And then we've got these two top arms, which are held onto the back of the hub, both with these M18 Torx, and I believe that's an 18mm nut. And then this bottom arm is held in with a 12mm spline and a I believe that's 17mm nut. So once you've got all these off, it's a case of working the shaft out and then popping the shaft out the back of the hub. So we'll do that and then we'll be back. Right, with a bit of jiggery pokery and pulling it about, you have to just pull the hub right down, quite an angle. You have to make sure this arm is dislocated at the bottom to give it full travel. Then you can get the shaft out and you can see what's left of the ABS ring. There's nothing left of it, it's all corroded and come off its outer shell. The metal ring's still there, but the magnetic bit is there. I don't know whether that'll focus on there. There's some light. But that's it, all you've got is the magnetic ring. So the next step is to tap this ring off, get a little chisel behind it, we'll tap it off, and then we need to clean up the surface to put the new one on. And I think we might take the whole shaft out because the whole shaft just pushes in into the diff. We'll see how we get on. Right, so I'll come back when I've got this off. Right, to make things easier, now we've got the drive shaft free that end, what we're going to do is this is only on splines here, you've got a big seal here, so all it takes is a pry bar. We've got a pry bar here, and I've initially just broke the little clip loose, so we can just pop that out. Try and do it one-handed. There we go. I don't know what fluid's going to come out of this. It's stuck at the other end. Right, hold on a minute, so I've got to do this two-handed. Okay, so that's where it came out of. That's where the seal sits in there. And let's get up onto the car. That's the inner joint. Oh, it isn't the seal, it's just a metal flange that sits in there. That must be the seal where it sits around the shaft there. But no fluid came out. And this is the end that we're looking at. So we've got to tap this ring off and then clean up this surface here. Right, I've just started tapping this off. You've got a little bit there done. work our way around. There we are. That's the enhance. Oh, wrong way. That's the rest of the ring. That's the metal insert part. And what we have to do now is to clean up this lip here, get that all nice and shiny, so we can press the new one on. So that, I think, will be a job for tomorrow, because it's getting late in the day, well, late in the afternoon, and I'm starving, need a cup of tea and something to eat. So we'll be back shortly. Right, so just to compare, if I haven't showed you already, that's the new ring, the number for that. I haven't taken it out of the bag yet because I don't want to get it dirty before I put it on. But you can see it's a solid metal ring with the encoder bit, magnetic ring around the outside. And what we had on the car, this is the ring I've just taken off the end of the shaft. And this is the encoder ring, what's left of it, and that just clips on there to make one piece. So I guess what was happening is the shaft was going around and this was sliding separately, causing signal issues. So I think what it had done, it had slipped off and it was sort of sitting half on and half off like that. But at least the good thing is you can change these, not like a lot of them. So it's going to work out a lot cheaper than for him than if we replaced the whole shaft. So yeah, let's crack on. Right, so it's the next day. I'm in my garage. It's a lovely sunny day out there. I've cleaned up all this lip. I don't know whether you can see that. Gave it a wire brushing off, and then I went around it with some fine wet and dry emery paper. So it's nice and shiny now. So this is the new ring, and that just slips over there like so. So what we need to do now is to find something nice and soft, just to tap that down and tap that over. Let's see if we can get a mallet. Right, a little bit of wood. Let's see if we can tap this on. Maybe a touch more. That's just about perfect. You can see there, it's nicely down to that lip, and on the inside you can see that. Focus. There we go. It's nicely down. Sitting on the flange. Right, let's take that back. And what we've got to do now is clean up the ABS sensor hole and inside where this ring was rubbing, and then we can go for reassembly. Right, and we're back at the car. I've cleaned up the ABS hole, so that's all nice and clean in there. The ABS sensor fits nice and snugly in there. Surface is nice and flat. And in, let's see if we can focus in there somewhere. Where are we? Focus, where are we? Oh, there we are. I've cleaned up inside the hub where the ABS ring is rubbing. That's all nice and clean in there. There you can see the ABS hole at the top there. So now it's just a case of fitting everything back in reverse order, which I'm not going to film because it's purely nuts and bolts. We're going to put the drive shaft back in first, slot the drive shaft in there. We're going to loosely attach all these arms and then raise the suspension up to the driving height, like a loaded height, before we tighten all the bushings up, so don't overstress them. And it's just a case of putting the caliper carrier back on, put the caliper on, and yeah, then I'll come back if we've got any issues, but hopefully it'll be straightforward and good. So if I don't catch you again, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Right, just to conclude then on this Mercedes, I've just got back from a test drive. I've got it all boxed up okay, cleared all the codes, went for a test drive, no faults come back, so it's all good. Just to note, when you're putting it back together, the arms are under a little bit of tension, the top two arms, so you probably need a ratchet strap to pull them down into place before you put the bolts through. And then of course you have to jack the wheel up to its normal ride position before you tighten all the bolts up, so it doesn't stress the bushes when you lower it down again. So yeah, it's all good. So instead of a drive shaft, which was going to cost, I think it was going to cost about 130 quid to have it rebuilt, we got away with just an ABS ring, which was I think it was about 11 quid, 12 quid. So that wasn't too bad. A new ABS sensor. So yeah, it worked out well. So thanks for watching guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.